Hello, welcome back to the channel. It is Dan, Nocturne Knives, and got a sharpening video today. I've been using this knife a lot lately. It is my Deep Cuts Cutlery. This is one of his unnamed models that he just kind of made up as a one-off. I got it a little while ago. It is in Crewwear steel at 63 to 64 HRC, something like that. I've been using this a lot lately to cut up a bunch of boxes and things, getting just a little bit dull. Still a fine working edge, but I thought it'd be fun to go ahead and sharpen this thing, have a little fun with it. Here's the current state of the edge. So it can still slice through some catalog paper, but not easily and not very cleanly. So just a little dull. It's kind of barely scrape shaving, just a little bit. It's in that territory where it could definitely be, say, stropped back pretty easily. I don't think I'd have any problem with that, but I want to have some fun with it. I'm gonna start off by cutting off the apex, getting rid of that fatigued steel that's at the apex there. And now it is completely dull. Try that out. Yep. Nothing going on there. Very dull. And I really like this knife. I think the design is very simple, very clean, really comfortable ergos. The grind is nice and thin here, a nice thin hollow grind. It's probably like 10 thousandths behind the edge or so. Really nice. So my stone here is a Neve F150. I've got some stroppy stuff, honing oil here. And going to get into it. As I start here, I'm going to go ahead and measure the angle just for the fun of it. I think I'll go for 15 degrees on this. So you won't be able to read the angle on this angle gauge, but basically I just stick it to the flat of the blade and then use that to get a reference. So I've got my reference. I'm going to start grinding in this edge bevel. That's what we're looking like. I can already feel a light burr forming. That's the beauty of a really thin grind, is it takes no time at all to apex it. And it looks like, based on my best guess, the existing edge was probably at 17 degrees per side or so. So I'm not coming in too much lower than that. Yeah, probably about 17. Okay, I've worked it up to the tip here. Now I'm gonna switch sides, reference again. I've got 15 right there. And when I do this, again, this is just a reference. In freehand sharpening, you're always going to be approximating. You won't be getting exact angles here, so it'll be in the range of 15 degrees. It'll probably vary from like 14 to 16 kind of range. Usually there's about a degree variance up and down, especially when you factor in the natural convexity of a freehand edge. But when I set that edge bevel with the angle cube as my reference, then I can just match it through the rest of sharpening, and I stay pretty consistent. All right, already feeling a burr. everywhere except right up at the tip. That's the thickest section of the grind. It thickens slightly up at the tip, so I'm not surprised. As usual, I'm using my Veneve resin bonded diamond stones. Really like the resin bonded diamond. They cut really, really fast, really easily, pretty low maintenance. You just have to kind of condition them every use or so, or every other use, as they do tend to load up, but they cut so fast that it's really a small trade-off. All right, I'm now apexed on both sides. The tip bevel is looking pretty even. Close enough. Still got a nice thin bevel with this nice thin grind. Cruwear feeling good, performed really well in all my uses and everything. Now I'm going to move on to a Veneve F400 here. Just give that a wipe. I'm a big fan of Deep Cuts Cutlery. I think he does really clean, efficient designs, really good clean work. I have 3 of his knives at the moment. Unfortunately, if you follow him on Instagram, he's taken sort of a break from professional knife making. He's just kind of doing it as a side hobby at this point. He's gone into some other line of work. I don't believe he's specified that. So that's unfortunate. It's understandable though, because there's a lot of stress in running your own small business and everything. So I can't blame him, but I do hope he continues to make knives, because it makes some really clean, high performance, well executed fixed blades. And really impressed by his work. He uses a lot of very interesting steels. This one, Cruwear 63 to 64, done very well. Nice, and I love this nice, clean, simple design, thin geometry. Really, really well done. And I get a lot of use out of this. I'm just taking a look at the tips, so it needs a little bit more work on this side at the tip, just to even out that edge bevel a little bit. But we're almost done. There we go. Now everything's looking nice and even. Not sure how well you'll be able to see that edge bevel on video here. So now I've gotten the scratch pattern how I wanted. I have all the scratches from that F150 removed. A nice clean pattern on this F400. Now I'm just going to take some light strokes there, start minimizing the burr, flip sides, light back and forth strokes. And here I'm just flipping the burr back and forth a few times, minimizing it, weakening it. And now I'm going to take a series of single strokes to flip the burr back and forth and grind it off, or have it eventually just break off. This is the deburring stage is the most difficult stage of sharpening. The most important is probably apexing, but they're really, in sharpening, there are only two essential steps, and that is apex and deburr. So to say the most important step in sharpening is a little misleading because there are only two, and they're both almost equally important. It's just that apexing is the step one, and if you never achieve that step one, then step two, deburring, is irrelevant. If you never apex your knife, you will never have a sharp edge. So two-step process, apex that edge, and then deburr it. The apexing is the easier part. You just grind until you reach the apex. That's about it, pretty easy. I can still feel some burr there. Deburring is the part where you actually have to pay a little more attention. And technique becomes a little bit more useful, and just having the right knowledge here. Okay, I can feel a little burr with my finger right in this area. And on some of these strokes, I'm raising my angle just ever so slightly by like a degree, half degree, to make sure I'm hitting that apex and knocking that burr off. Okay, now I don't feel any burr. Now I'm gonna do flashlight test. So you shine it down at the edge from the spine, and if you look closely, if there's any burr, it will present right at the apex as this shiny little line reflecting light back at you. So I do see some burr right here with the flashlight. So take a few strokes there and check again just to see if it's flipped. Missed it. So I just raise my angle a little bit more. There, now it's gone. And flip to this side. What I'm doing at this point is just grinding and flipping it back and forth, just until it pops off. Using very light pressure, edge leading strokes here. And pretty burr free on that side. And burr free on this side. All right, so I've removed all the detectable burr. Now I'm going to do some edge trailing strokes just to kind of restore that apex. As with your edge leading strokes, you're running the apex into any abrasives that are on your stone, say anything that's formed as slurry and contains abrasive particles itself or particles of the steel, you're running your apex into that. So it will kind of degrade your apex slightly, and then also the process of removing that burr will leave a slightly roughened apex. So come back in here with these nice gentle edge trailing strokes just to restore that apex back. Just like that. And then ooh, you should feel your edge be nice and sharp at this point. Feels really sharp. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. No problem. Popping hairs, really, shaving really, really easily. That's awesome. Now what we can do is clean off the blade with some rubbing alcohol to get rid of any of that slurry and abrasive from the stone. Go and clean off the whole thing while I'm at it. Now I've got a strop here. This has 1 micron stroppy stuff diamond compound on it. And just do some light stropping on this to remove any last remnants of micro burr that I missed or could not detect on the edge, because no matter how well you deburr on your stone, I guarantee there's a little bit of burr left on that edge. It's impossible to clean up all the burr on a stone. And so you'll get rid of any of that last bits of burr and just refine that apex just a little bit more. It feels ridiculously sharp right now. Yeah, that's pretty good. Effortless. Take a look at some paper towel. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty decent. Really sharp. And little hair shaving. Absolutely just clean, effortless shave. You barely feel it. That's a really sharp edge. Final product right here. Pretty even, pretty nice scratch pattern. Tip's really even. Yeah, awesome knife. What it looks like in hand, perfect size. Got a really, really nice Kydex sheath here. I added these soft loops for horizontal carry, just clips onto your belt right here. Belt loop goes right here, so it stays in place really nicely, and you can take it on and off in seconds. Super easy. Nice thumb ramp, pops out. Really good package right here. Really easy to carry. Pretty discreet. It kind of sticks out just a little bit, but if your shirt is slightly baggy, it will hang over this. Or if you're wearing a jacket, for example, it hangs over, and it's pretty discreet. Really, really like this knife. All right, well, that's my video. Thank you for watching. I hope you found it interesting. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or anything like that, drop a comment down below. I would love to talk about sharpening or this knife, or if you're familiar with deep cuts cutlery, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear it all. So with all that said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.